So I'm working on my draw right now on dry fire. I don't really practice for draw speed. I have a pretty fast draw already, which I've worked on over time. So really right now, what I normally practice if I practice my draw is just maintenance. And the biggest thing that I'm cued on when I'm practicing the draw is my grip. That when I come out and present the gun, I have a nice high grip on from my firing hand, and my support hand is nice and high. I don't have any gaps, and I have a really strong, firm grip with my support hand, not so much tension in my firing hand. If I get all those things right, my dot is always indexed on my point of aim. So wherever I'm looking, that small spot right now, I'm dry firing on a IPSC target, a full-size IPSC target at about 7 yards, and I'm really honed in on the A, on the target. So again, as long as I complete my grip and I have a good solid grip on the gun, my index is on point. So that's my cue when I'm dry firing and practicing my draw. So I'll go through a few reps here, and I'll kind of just talk through the things that I'm noticing, right? So the other thing too is I want to stay nice and relaxed, so I'm not tensed up before the beep, because that just causes things to fall apart. So I'm really also taking a nice deep breath, and I'm making sure that I don't feel any tension in my shoulders, because that's typically where the onset of tension happens for me, is in the shoulders. So we'll just go get a nice grip there. So that's good. Grip is nice and high. Okay, so there I completed my support hand grip really late, and my dot was way off target. Okay, so look at how low. You can see there how low that is. And that was tension. I was anticipating the beat. That's really good. Nice solid grip. Oh, that was perfect. Right on the A. Okay, so that I tried to speed it up a bit, and my strong hand was kind of over on the grip too far, so my gun was pointing that way. That was good. That was a little off. I hit the beaver tail with my strong hand. Now, one of the things that I try to do too is I try to complete my draw even when my grip is bad, because in a match, you're not going to have time to reset, right? So I want to work on that as well, and just try and power through a bad grip. Okay, that's okay. My support hand is a little off. That was good. Okay, so that I started to think about the beat. It took a little bit longer. That was good. That was good. So if you notice, a couple things. One, I have the part time set at 1 second. So that gives you an idea of speed. I think I'm presenting on target before that 1 second. But if you notice, my dog's chasing a butterfly. Sorry about that, guys. If you notice, I am not pulling the trigger. So I separate those things, and this is something that I heard mentioned, and I didn't understand why. So I would always pull the trigger at the end of my draw, every time I trained on draws. And what that ends up doing is it gets you in the habit or accustomed to pulling the trigger at the end of your draw stroke. Basically, it becomes subconscious, right? So you finish your draw by pulling the trigger. And what I found, what would happen is I would pull that trigger regardless of where my dot was on target. So now when I'm really just practicing my draw, I don't pull the trigger. I draw to a sight picture. And that way, the last visual cue that I have is the dot on target. And that's helped me to increase the accuracy of my first shot from the draw. Now, there are times where I want to go really fast and I'm just drawing on index and I'm firing without sometimes even seeing the dot. It just depends on the distance of the target, you know, the difficulty of the target, right? But again, that's something that I can't remember who specifically. I know Ben talks about it, but there are other high-level shooters that when they practice to draw, they isolate the trigger press. They don't do that. And then there's other times where you're incorporating the draw into a more compounded drill where you're doing, you're kind of overlaying skills. They'll pull the trigger then. So just some tips on how I dry fire. This is the way I've learned how to dry fire over time and listening to a lot of pro shooters. So hopefully you guys found this, this little quick video helpful.